This is Morag. She's just like every other little girl you might be lucky enough to meet in the street. She is bright, happy, and loves school, where she gets to join all of her friends. At least, she did love school. Things changed recently when her dad had to move for work. Now, Morag goes to a different school, where her name sounds different, and her red hair, freckles, and Scottish accent makes her stand out. Being different meant that the other girls would bully her, and she was finding it hard to make friends. She spent much of her free time hiding in the library when, one lunchtime, she saw some books about her old home and began reading them. "I wish I could make people see that different can be fun," she said to herself, and then the idea came to her. Why don't I show them how great it is being Scottish, and tell them about all the wonderful people I've met, places I've been, and the things I have done? It was a good plan, but she would need help from her teacher with some computer work. Teachers can be helpful if you behave in class and ask nicely. Coming from Glasgow, Morag decided to show what life was like there. She wanted everyone to see that although it was a different place, kids there liked the same things and shared the same values. She accepted that she was different, but knew that different wasn't something to be scared or ashamed of. Friday saw Morag standing at the front of the class. The screen behind her showed a map of Scotland with the 8 cities of Aberdeen, Dundee, Dunfermline, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Inverness, Perth and Stirling. She pointed to Glasgow and said, "I used to live here, the 5th biggest city in the whole of the UK." Well, that got their attention. Morag talked about all the things she loved about her old home, while photos of her at various locations with her friends and family played on the screen. There was a picture of her with her mum and dad at the Kelvingrove Art Gallery, with her friends at the Science Museum, which looked like a silver UFO from some angles. They even had a huge IMAX theatre there. Talking of theatres, she showed them a picture of the Theatre Royal, which was the home of the Scottish Ballet. There were other theatres including the Pavilion, where she saw a pantomime and a magical place called the Shermanka Kinetic Theatre. She had pictures of her and her family and friends at the Barrowlands, where she went to a gig. She talked about the pictures of the Glasgow Cathedral. It is the oldest cathedral in mainland Scotland and the oldest building in Glasgow. Morag showed her friends the pictures of Glasgow Botanic Gardens, located in the West End of Glasgow. It features several glass houses. And even the riverside, showing the shipbuilding past from some old cranes to the new Transport Museum. She finished by showing pics taken at Pollock Country Park, the place she loved the most for the outdoor adventures. A place where she could play with her friends, watch bands play in the festival area, or just go see some Highland cows. She even had a pic of herself beside a giant Clydesdale horse. "I just wanted you to know that I come from Glasgow in Scotland, and not the one on Mars," she said. The class giggled at that. "Seriously, look it up. There is a Glasgow on Mars. The Curiosity rover has been there, and I learnt this in the Science Museum." Well, that did it. The entire class wanted to know more. Some asked about ballet, others about science. Some wanted to know what else there was to see. And, for the first time since moving, she walked home with friends.